Flip-flop season is finally here. Hey, I'm Ben. I'm a huge fly fisherman. Summer is right around the corner and wow, does it feel good. Wet wading, bug spray, warm backpack beers, and good fishing. So today I'm gonna talk about different flies that you should be fishing this summer. Not just trout flies, but yes, a lot of trout flies. But first, I want you to go to riversmith.com and use code HUGE for 10% off of Riversmith products. You can get rod holders for your truck or your boat, or you can get luggage and bags if you're traveling somewhere or doing something. So check it out, Riversmith, code HUGE, 10%. All right, let's begin. The first thing that I think of for summertime flies is PMDs. That stands for pale morning dun. It's not a specific fly pattern, it's a little yellow mayfly, like size 14 or 16. And they hatch in the summertime here in the Rocky Mountains. If you're in the East, don't feel left out. You guys have your own little yellow mayfly and you call them sulfurs. Scientifically, they are not the same bug, but from our view as anglers, yeah, same thing. If you're watching this in like Europe or somewhere else, I have no clue what you guys have. This is gonna be America-centric. Shocker. Anyway, PMDs and sulfurs. What flies should you fish? For nymphs, skinny brown nymphs, 14 and 16. I'll skip emergers and go straight to floaty flies. When I'm choosing my PMD dry fly, I'm mostly thinking about the type of water that I'm fishing. If it's real calm and flat and slow, I want a fly that's kind of sparse and low profile, like a comparadun. The other end of the spectrum would be fast, choppy water where I'd fish something more buoyant or with more hackle, and maybe something with a chunkier body that's more visible to the fish. I'd fish maybe a yellow humpy or something with foam. So when you see the little yellow mayflies, match the type of fly to the type of water you're fishing and you'll catch like 1,000 fish. Okay, next one, we're gonna do another trout fly, the chubby. First, we gotta talk about the lure. Back in the day, we used to fish a fly called the Chernobyl ant. It's a good fly. It's one of those flies that you look at and it's like, what is this even supposed to be? But it doesn't really matter because the fish like to eat them. So the Chernobyl ant got morphed into what we know today as the chubby Chernobyl. Or we just call them chubbies because it's fun to say. Chubbies are probably one of the most used dry flies in the Western US. It's a stonefly. It's a grasshopper. Sometimes it's just a bobber. Once the bigger stonefly hatches start in the spring, chubbies are great up until like October. Try them in different colors and sizes. Now I mentioned that sometimes a chubby is just a bobber. Because of the foam body and the big wing, chubbies float really well. They're great for dry dropper rigs when the dry fly isn't something specific, you just want a fly that's gonna float. Okay, let's get away from trout here for a bit. Next summertime fly, shad patterns. I'm mostly thinking bass fishing here, but shad are a forage fish. So if you fish somewhere that has shad, basically anything in that body of water that's big enough to eat the shad will eat the shad. So yeah, all types of bass, but also crappies, walleyes, even catfish. They're all gonna eat shad. Shad have a tall body compared to other bait fish. So I'm gonna get away from slim flies like clouds or minnows. Last time I was fishing shad patterns, EP flies and small game changers worked great for me. Honorable mention for wiggle minnows. Now we will go to saltwater. Spawning shrimp. Great redfish fly, also bonefish. Just about everything in the ocean will eat a shrimp. There are lots of different spawning shrimp patterns, but basically it's a shrimp that's light colored and has a big orange spot or blob somewhere on it. I think the orange is supposed to be an egg sac, but that's just a guess. I actually don't know everything about fly fishing. Anyway, summertime out on a flat or way in the back of some redfish ponds, spawning shrimp flies. All right, I got another saltwater one for you, the light bulb, another bait fish fly. I know this one as a snook fly. Go to Florida, throw it up against the mangroves, profit. The light bulb is pretty easy to tie. You might put a weed guard on it. It's not really for weeds, it's so you can get your fly back from the mangroves. Now, let's do another bass one before we go back to trout. The Murdich minnow. Well-known warm water fly in the East and Midwest. I've caught a lot of smallmouth in rivers with Murdich minnows, but they will definitely work in still water also. They don't have a lot of weight, so you'll want a sink tip line if you want to get them down deeper. Okay, let's do a few more trout flies before we finish up. we'll do another little yellow one, but it's not a mayfly, it's a stonefly. Yellow sallies. In my experience, it seems like yellow sallies are kind of a background hatch all summer long. You don't get a ton of them, but they're always around. And if you get your little yellow mayflies and your little yellow stoneflies at the same time, oh man, I hope you have some little yellow bugs in your box. I like yellow sallies with a foam body because they float better and longer. Next, we're gonna go from small stonefly to big mayfly. Green drakes. Around here, that means July. The hatch doesn't last too long, like 2 or 3 weeks, but it's super fun to fish a size 10 or 12 mayfly dry. There are plenty of different patterns out there. I like some of the extended body ones a lot, but by far, my favorite green drake pattern is a big old royal wolf. So much fun to catch fish on those flies, just because they look kind of ridiculous. All right, last summertime fly, and maybe the most important because they're around all the time, at least in the summer. Ants. You can fish them as a general searching pattern, but one scenario where they seem to work well for me is when you have feeding fish that aren't eating the flies that you're throwing at them. Show them an ant that's a similar size to whatever they are eating. Kind of showing them something different, but not too crazy. You can also fish your ants underwater. Drowned ants work great. 2 specific patterns that I like to fish are Tom Rosenbauer's ant for something small and a bionic ant when I want a bigger fly. The bionic ant is also good if you ever bump into a flying ant hatch. Flying ant hatches just seem to happen randomly as far as I can tell, but you should be prepared for them because trout go absolutely nuts for flying ants. I think it's like Palolo worms for tarpon. Like there's something in the ants that makes trout go wild. I don't really know though, I'm just speculating. Does anyone have any thoughts on that? And that's gonna do it for this video about summertime flies. Thanks as always for watching another one of my huge fly fisherman videos. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, enjoy both weeks of summer and stay huge. There's another fly you might want to check out. It's called the LA ant, and that stands for Los Alamos ant, which is a play off of Chernobyl, Los Alamos. Anyway, it's designed by my friend Harry Steves. What's up, Harry? I don't know if you watch YouTube at all, but check out the LA ant. It's a cool fly. Easy to tie, too.